The plot is just so weird. Like you're saying, it was a little bit slow in the first half. It did feel like slow, but there were so many weird, interesting things that were happening left and right that made me wonder, like, okay, what's going on here?
Driveby Movies, you are watching
Fresh releases.
My name is James.
My name's Blaze.
And today we're going to check out the new thriller, Bacurau.
This world is upside down.
After the death of her grandmother, Teresa comes home to her matriarchal village in a near-future Brazil to find a succession of sinister events that mobilizes all of its residents. So, Bacurau is I think it was the Grand Jury Prize winner of Cannes last year, and maybe it didn't win, it didn't win the Palme d'Or, but it did win the Grand Jury Prize, which is, I'm pretty sure it's either second or third place at Cannes, essentially. And last year we all know who won the Palme d'Or, and if you're asking yourself, wait, who won the Palme d'Or? It's Parasite, guys. It won the Oscars, it won the Palme d'Or, won every freaking award last year.
Thanks, because I wasn't sure.
Yeah, but Bacurau is a Brazilian movie. I think I was really excited to finally get it here stateside. It's available on streaming, guys. If you want to check it out, definitely go check it out there. But I was finally excited to see, what all the talk was, what all the hype. I've seen a lot of talk of this film in, art film circles, so I definitely wanted to check it out. But more importantly, I am curious what you thought of the movie.
Well, I love going into movies blind, so I was just stoked that you said, oh, let's check out this movie. And I didn't really go in having any idea what it was and stuff. I didn't really pay attention to the Cannes films last year, even though I should, because I loved Parasite. But when I watched this, it was a little slow for me the first hour, but then really when the plot really started to thicken, I guess you can say, and develop, I was full for it and was not expecting how violent and crazy this movie was going to get. Definitely, I'd say it's one of the best movies of the year. I highly enjoyed it. It was refreshing to watch a movie like this. The Vast Night, I thought, was a very refreshing movie, but this was more in line of what I liked, and this is what I wanted out of The Hunt, which I thought was pretty lame and disappointing in one of our earlier episodes of Fresh Releases, but it's cool to come back and just finally get what I wanted out of a movie, I'd say.
Definitely, yeah. I didn't think about this being like The Hunt, really, but I just wasn't really a fan of The Hunt. I thought all the commentary and jokes, if they were jokes, I didn't really feel like they were, but if they were, I just thought they were super lame. Wasn't really funny. This movie, on the other hand, takes a similar premise. It has these kind of foreigners, coming in, wiping Bacurau off the map, essentially. They take it off of all GPS locations, phone service. The citizens of Bacurau are wondering what's going on with our town, or do we even cease to exist? It has this interesting existential crisis that's going on, while simultaneously these foreigners are trying to rack up kills. They're not just going in full-fledged into the village at first. They're taking off people on the sidelines, and the plot is just so weird. Like you're saying, it was a little bit slow in the first half. It did feel slow, but there were so many weird, interesting things that were happening left and right that made me wonder, okay, what's going on here? Why are there these coffins being shuttled into the city? There's a water truck that has to deliver all the water to the village. I don't think they have access to the river anymore. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of very interesting things that was going on in the plot that definitely kept me, maybe it was a little bit of a slow burn, but it definitely kept me in line. But this is probably one of the most violent movies of this year.
Yeah. I think what caught me off guard was I was just really expecting a kind of a tourist or vacationer kind of horror film where they got more than what they bargained for on vacation, because it starts with a couple heading into the town, and the first image, just seeing that dead body on the floor from the accident, I was just oh, what am I getting into? But I guess I was just caught off guard also with it not really having a main character within the movie. There's definitely characters that are in it more than others. But I think that's what I enjoyed most about it, because it feels very personal and intimate with it being a village and very few people living there. So it felt like the town was like the main character of the movie, essentially, just because there's so many different characters we get to spend time with and stuff. And there's definitely ones that I was like rooting for towards the end of the movie. And when we kind of start seeing what the stakes are and what's going on with the movie, the dirt bikers, like out of nowhere, just them shooting those people. And then when like you find out what the reasoning for and stuff, it's like has to do with like a point system and just like a weird game. I was like, oh, I did not know I was really going to get into one of these style movies. And just like, I didn't know what I was craving for before watching this movie, but it definitely fulfilled my appetite, I'd say. There's your Rotten Tomatoes quote. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, you're going to come up with those every week now. Mm-hmm. Is that how this goes?
Yep, we're going to be on Rotten Tomatoes right next to Chris Stuckman. Coming for you, buddy.
Oh, boy. I mean, when it comes to Bacurau, I thought that this was one of the most interesting films that I've seen this year. I think you already had mentioned it. We're started to movies, but this is definitely something that it might be one of the most violent movies, but it really does hold a message there. And it might take you a little bit to think about it. For me, it definitely hit me in a certain way. It's some of the things I've thought about after watching this movie. I've even gone back and revisited it already. So, oh, wow. 2 times under the belt before I even review something on here. I got to watch it 2 times, you know? No, I'm not all the time, but this is one of them. But I really enjoyed kind of the messages that this film held. For me, a lot of that was, colonialism and conquistadors that basically take over places. These Brazilians that kind of sold out this town of, I guess, local folks, basically sold out this town. They thought they were in the same shoes as these foreigners, and the foreigners just write them off as essentially another they're foreigners to them, so they write them off kind of like an immigrant, just shoot them in the back, whatever, get on with it, let's rack up the points. At least that's how it felt like these foreigners are trying to do. The plot does take a lot of twists and turns, some of which, I want you as a viewer to check this out yourself, and I don't want to spoil anything, but yeah, I just thought that this movie really... It wasn't really anything that I was expecting. I honestly felt like something that Quentin Tarantino would have directed.
Yeah, I'm actually curious to see, because I always look forward to his top 10 movies of the year, towards the end of the year, of course. But I have a feeling that this will be up on there, just because a movie like this definitely feels like it would have, been not specifically for him, but it's definitely within his interests. And I'm curious to see if he'll talk about it at the end of the year. But yeah, just like I think if you watch our show by now, you should get the idea of what kind of movies we like and stuff. We're not really the biggest fan of too much of mainstream cinema. Not to say it's bad or anything. It's just it's not for us all the time. And this movie is definitely, I can see why some people might not like this movie. It's definitely not a mainstream movie. I can see a lot of mainstream audiences still enjoying it. But I highly recommend it. It's one of the best of the year, like I said earlier. And it's just so refreshing after, other than The Rental, I really enjoyed that movie. That's one of my favorites of the year. But it just seems like week after week for fresh releases. We're so stoked to be watching new movies and hoping for good stuff, because we're going to focus on movies that we were interested in. But it's been hard to do that this year. And we've watched a lot of crap. So it was really great to see this.
Yeah, this is no Scoob. I'll just say it right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to say, I know you're a huge Carpenter fan. Did you notice that there are some of his scores, are tracks in this film?
Wait, some? So...
Or there's one. I don't know if there's more than one, but I know there's at least one.
So I assume it's the one synthwave song that we got that kind of comes out of nowhere, but I was just like, oh, I'm vibing to this. This song slaps. But that's a Carpenter song?
Yeah, it's a track. One of his tracks called "Night." It's in the soundtrack of this film, and also, of course, it's in the film as well. But interesting enough, they did another nod to Carpenter, where the school children's their school is named John Carpenter in Brazilian. So I thought that was kind of a cool little tip of the hat.
Well, it seems like we're both on board. Definitely, we recommend this movie. Definitely go check it out. It's finally made its way onto video on demand. It was supposed to get a release, but we're living in some weird times right now. So highly recommend watching it. Best way to help us out is by watching the movie itself. We have an Amazon affiliate link in the description box below. Please do that.
If you haven't already, guys, make sure you like the video, leave a comment below, let us know what you thought of the film or even our review for that sake. And if you haven't noticed yet, we have a brand new Instagram account. The link is down below, and also, it's written down there. So go follow us on Instagram. Go check out, we post clips on there and, fun videos and stuff. So go check us out on Instagram. Also, hit the subscribe button and click that notification bell for all of our latest updates.
And that's going to conclude this week's episode of Fresh Releases. Tune in next week for a brand new video.